Good call. So are those, that's everybody then, right? Okay. Okay. So we can, Georgia Center can share a little bit. We actually, just for, I am a visual learner. I don't know if everybody else is like that, but we pulled together just a few slides so that each of the regional coordinators could share some information about their specific region. And I think it might help show some overlap a little bit. So I will go ahead and share my screen. So if you give me just a second. Okay, can you all see that okay?
Looks good.
All right, great. Okay, so I think a lot of you know we are, we kind of serve as a dual purpose. We locally, we're based in Atlanta. We have an office in DeKalb and in Fulton County. Locally, we serve as the Child Advocacy Center, just like Teresa mentioned, Mosaic. So we provide direct services for children and families who've experienced abuse and neglect. But our prevention initiative is slightly different because we are statewide and we are, we're focused on educating adults and youth around abuse prevention, around ACEs prevention, and just promoting trauma-informed care across the state. We've been working with organizations and communities since 2006. And most of what we do is prevention education. And we offer a variety of trainings. So some of you have mentioned Stewards of Children. That's our sexual abuse prevention training program. We also offer Connections Matter. Some of you are trained as Connections Matter Georgia trainers. That's our adverse childhood experiences prevention training. And that is through a partnership with Prevent Child Abuse Georgia. So the two of our agencies bring that to the state of Georgia. And then we have a variety of other trainings that we offer. Some are program-based, like Stop It Now, Circles of Safety. That one's really focused on helping to promote healthy sexual development in children and giving adults the understanding of what that looks like, what that means, and why it's important to educate children on healthy sexual development. We also have a partnership with Children's Advocacy Centers of Georgia for a human trafficking prevention training that we do that's more community-based. So not really the law enforcement and those that are involved in cases of human trafficking, but really working with the community, with educators, with those that serve children to help inform them on human trafficking. And then we provide a variety of other presentations, community awareness type programs. We do film screenings. We do education on child protection policies, so helping organizations know what they need to do to keep kids safe within their organization. And then we work at the state level on lots of other partnerships like the CANUP, the Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Plan, and a variety of other programs as well. The last thing, and I'm excited because we're in the process of updating it. We've worked with the State Department of Education and with Criminal Justice Coordinating Council to create a technical assistance resource guide for schools to identify which programs to implement in their school systems to educate youth on sexual abuse and human trafficking prevention. So there's a mandate that requires schools to educate kids kindergarten through 9th grade, and we created a publication to help schools identify which programs are best for their particular students. And we are in the process of updating that document. So I'm very excited about that. One of the things that we focus on as we work in communities to promote prevention education is creating a tipping point. And I think some of you might be aware of this, but our goal is to reach a critical mass of adults within a community that are educated about ACEs, that are educated about abuse and neglect, and that are actively working to prevent that within their communities. And so our initial goal is to train 5% of the adult population within each county in Georgia on these different topics and programs. And you can see our map, our beautifully colored map that Sarah helped us put together, that those in yellow have reached that tipping point. So we have 24 counties. So you may see some overlap with some of the counties that you all serve. 24 have reached tipping point. 5 of those 24 have gone above 10%, and we even have 2 that have gone above 15% of the adult population. And we are almost in every single county in Georgia. There's only 3 that we have yet to train anyone. So just shout out if you know anyone in Stewart or Eccles or Screven. I know those aren't counties that you all serve, but if you know anybody, let us know so we can cover the whole map. So that's just a little bit about our strategies in embedding, really what it's about is embedding prevention into the fabric of the community, so that if they're serving youth, they're thinking about how to protect them from abuse and trauma, and are focused on ACEs prevention. So I'm going to just go around and see. I think Leah's up first. We'll have Leah share. Sorry, Leah, when you're region 1, you get to go first.
Right? Just throw me out there. I don't know what to say. So region 1 is Northwest Georgia. I've been helping support this region, as you can say, for about 3.5 years. I try to be a partner to the agencies in the region, as well as just providing trainings, because I believe we all win when we work as a team and we're not all reinventing the wheel everywhere we go, or doubling up on something that we could spread out, or any of the number of things that come when we work together instead of working in parallel, or even accidentally against each other. So some of my key partnerships, as you can see, the Region 1 Family Connection. So, Gabrielle, Doug, LaDonna, these are some of my main partners. And I like to think we work really well together. Rome City Schools, Cartersville City Schools have been very active in training all of their staff and helping promote in their areas the trainings that we do. And in Region 1, we've done these 12 film screenings with 402 viewers. We've had 645 participants in ACEs Awareness and Connections Matter, a total of just over 13,000, well over 13,000 trained in the Darkness to Light training since 2007. Almost 2,000 of those, have been since 2019, which frankly I count as quite a success given the whole pandemic thing and everything. So, when I came into this role, there was a little bit of resistance to some of what I was trying to do, or supposed to be doing. And so I've worked really hard to try to, create those partnerships in this region and let folks know that I'm not here, with an agenda to necessarily do a certain thing, but, that I want to be a help. And I like to work together as a partner. So that's always been my goal in Region 1, and so far it seems to be bearing fruit. So I don't know if there's anything else I need to say, but
Thanks, Leah. All right, Steve, I think you're next.
Okay, well, I'm the old guy in the group. I've been working as a regional coordinator in Region 2 for 12 years. So Region 2 is a 13-county area. And then on this map, we have added Gwinnett County because I physically live right above the line and have been involved with the Gwinnett County Coalition for over 8 years. And some of our key partners are Family Connection, but several child advocacy centers. Prevent Child Abuse has a family resource center. So we have a coalition in 12 of the 13 counties that we're working in. And some of the successes that we've had, we have reached a region-wide tipping point. We have trained over 5% of the total adult population for all of Region 2. But that's a secondary goal. The primary goal is to have every county at tipping point. And as of last Friday, we had our 10th county that reached tipping point, 10 out of 13. And so we're really excited about that. We do have 2 counties that have trained over 15% of their adult population. They're working toward 20%. So collectively in Region 2, we've trained over 30,000 adults. And then if you add the trainings that we've been able to cooperate with in Gwinnett County, it's a total of over 35,000 adults. When I say we, I mean we. There are local advocates and trainers in every county. None of us as regional coordinators could ever accomplish this apart from building those strategic partnerships in these counties. And I think the challenge of this job as a regional coordinator, particularly with this strategy of training 5%, is helping counties maintain that goal over a long period of time. Some of our counties have been doing this for 10, 12 years. And to keep that as a primary focus for that length of time, I think has been one of the most important roles that we as regional coordinators play. And I think that's why our partnership with Resilient Georgia is so critical, because we have those long-term relationships. And we talk about with our prevention initiative that at 5%, nothing magical happens, but we have reached critical mass by which, with continued effort, we can begin to shift cultural norms and change adult behavior. So our relationship with Resilient Georgia is that with continued effort. That's what we bring to the foundation that we've laid, and that's how we build on that in these regions. So it's just a beautiful partnership, and just really thankful for my relationship with the Gwinnett Coalition and the way we've been able to integrate the work that we've been doing and the work that they're doing together.
Thank you, Steve. You say you're the old guy, but you always say it so much better than the rest of us do. So much appreciated. He makes all of us sound good too, Teresa. You're not alone. Okay, Krista.
Yeah, I don't really want to go after Steve. I just he does that so eloquently. But I am the Region 4 regional coordinator. You guys can see the counties that I serve on the map. I have also adopted Columbus with the Resilient Georgia work. That's not added on here, but I have been working with Columbus as well. So we always support kind of outlying counties outside of our region as needed, in addition to the counties that we serve. I have been in my role for 10 years. Working in Region 4. One of the big key partnerships is, of course, the Family Connections, working with them. They are always amazing at helping getting the information out and getting those critical partners. Also, the local child advocacy centers within our regions. Another area that I have had great success with is the school systems. We have had 14 of our 16 school systems train in the Stewards of Children training, and I'm now working to get that second step of getting Connections Matter into our school systems as well as a second step in addition to Stewards of Children. So having those great relationships with the school systems, because we know in some counties, the school systems are the largest employer of that county. So when you can train the school system, not only are they working with those children every day, but they also make up a vast majority of the adults serving youth in those communities. And as well as they work in the surrounding counties, or maybe live in a different county and work in one. And so they all end up overlapping when you get them trained. In Region 4, we've had 8 counties reach tipping point, that 5%. We've had 2 counties that have reached 10%. We have trained a total of 40,403 adults in Stewards of Children since 2012. I think there was a little bit before I started, but mostly those numbers are from 2012 on. So the past 10 years, we've trained a little over 40,000 adults. And again, the school system is a huge partnership for us. But again, it's working with those relationships, the school systems, Family Connections, And when we have initiatives that fall in line with us, we always like to partner with them. So like what Leah said, we're not working against or doing double work, that we can find ways that we can partner together in order to make sure that we are getting this awareness out there to everybody, but we are communicating with everyone in those counties and regions that are doing similar work to us so that we can have a good partnership with any new initiatives that start in our counties and regions as well.
Thanks, Krista. All right, next we have Sandy.
Hi everyone again. So here on the screen, we have the four counties in Metro Atlanta, where primarily I work in. So similarly to my colleagues working with partners, school systems, and other youth serving organizations in Cobb County, DeKalb, Fulton, and Gwinnett, and some support for other counties or cities across the state that are also working to provide more outreach or engage their Hispanic or Spanish-speaking communities. So what this looks like for me is providing the Stewards of Children trainings, providing the Connections Matter trainings, but it also sometimes requires a little bit of tweaking for our trainings, our presentations that are more culturally relative, and also the time. We struggle with time and making them more briefer. I think my primary audience is parents, and the overall goal is to get organizations to kind of have and hire or have a person on staff who can kind of engage with our initiative. However, in the meantime, until that happens, I'm kind of the call-on person that comes in and does the trainings. So if you know of any person in these four counties or other places, please connect them with me, because we need more trainers, more bilingual trainers and bicultural trainers. Let's see, we have trained since the Prevention Initiative started in 2006. There have been over 2,000 Spanish-speaking adults that have taken Stewards of Children, and that's called Guardianes de los Niños in Spanish. There is a Hispanic Serving Prevention Coalition where it continues to grow. It started off with, again, members from these four counties coming in and sharing their services, but also learning about ACEs and just focusing a little bit beyond ACEs. So the ACEs tree that I think most of you are familiar with. And we've also seen, I don't know if it's a coincidence or crediting to the trainings that have occurred in Spanish, but we have seen some growth in our intervention services. So we are serving more Hispanic children, both in our forensic department and our therapy department at the Georgia Center. I already shared a little bit about the presentations and trainings that we offer in Spanish that are often tweaked a little bit or just shortened a little bit, but still based on the Stewards of Children programs or Darkness Flight programs and the Connections Matter training. I think I covered it all, Tiffany.
Thanks, Sandy. Yeah, as Sandy mentioned, she's primarily working in Metro Atlanta, but you can see that her footprint has gone in other places across the state. So if she can be a resource or support in some of the communities that you all are working in outside of Metro Atlanta, we've tried to clone her. It hasn't worked, but she's pretty good at being able to stretch her arms wide across the state.
Hello.
Okay, next we have Alex.
Hello again, everyone. So I am the Connections Matter coordinator, and unlike our regional coordinators, my position is statewide. So I serve all of you, and I'm here to support all of you in the facilitation of Connections Matter or in the expansion of Connections Matter. I know a lot of you are familiar with it and are trainers, but if you're not, Connections Matter is a curriculum that has ACE awareness education, but then it also talks about the connection between brain development, relationships, and communities. So one thing that I really like about it is that it's for parents, it's for community members, it's for professionals, law enforcement officers, childcare providers. It really does provide something for everybody to really make that connection for ACE prevention or to support those who have already experienced trauma. So since 2019, we've trained over 3,500 people in Connections Matter, but we also have about 90 trainers of Connections Matter, which I know we have some here. And we love to have trainers because people don't necessarily want to hear from us at the Georgia Center, but they want to hear from the people in their community who can make it personal to them, who know the community needs. And so if you have people in your community or you yourself are interested in being a Connections Matter trainer, I would love to connect with you, hence connect. And our next TOT is coming up in September. But again, I would love to connect with you before then, or if you're interested in Connections Matter in your community and having us facilitate it or just talk about the logistics, I am here to support you in that as well.
Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it. All right, so that wraps up, except unless Nikki or Sarah want to say anything. Sorry, not to put you on the spot. You're good? Okay, awesome. So that wraps up our work at the Georgia Center. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I think we were going to try to go into some breakout rooms and just see where some of our overlap is. I know some of you are already working together, which is great. I love hearing the shout out. But obviously want to work in the areas where we aren't connected, or see if there are other ways that we can provide more support to your goals and objectives. And so we've created some questions. Oh goodness, Sydney. Nothing like a fire drill. No worries. Glad it's a drill only. So I'm going to put some questions in the chat, and we will go into breakout rooms and just chat about the questions, if there are challenges or barriers. So who are the key stakeholders? What role do they play? How do you measure success? What is the structure of your initiative? How often you're meeting, what challenges and barriers you have, and what initiatives already exist that might support the goals. So Emily, Anne, is there anything that you wanted to say before we jump into?
Nope, I think you covered it.
Okay. All right.
Tiff, unrelated, but before you send us out, I'm looking down the road. Emily, Ann, do you know who's going to be, which communities are going to be coming online next as resilient Georgia communities? You're shaking your head already.
No.
Okay.
So especially with the white on our webpage, when you look at our webpage, so they're colored if we have representation. So the white spaces in the state that are left, you can see a lot of them are extremely rural. Some of them are metro area, but in those areas where a lot of those regions, they're going to be kind of building coalitions from scratch. Either there's work going on, but it's very siloed, or so yeah, it's going to be a while before we have round 5, and we also like round 4, we knew who we were going to have probably 8 months before they were awarded. It's not the
Okay.
same with round 5 at all.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Tiffany, are we coming back into the large session after the breakout, or once we do the breakout, are we done?
Let's just come back real quick if that works for everybody. And I might need to just change the time. So we'll do 20 minutes, and then that way we'll have 5 minutes to come back together. Does that work? Okay. All right.
Am I assigned to a room?
See that you're assigned. I don't see that I'm assigned either. Am I an idiot?
You're the host. You can send you and I into rooms. I think, oh, I see that. Tiffany is inviting you. Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye.
I'm just going to keep talking for a second. Sorry, everybody. Because Doug, you know, there's that that kind of hometown rivalry that goes on there. So I think we might be able to leverage that against the county a little bit. But I think too, having success at the high school level, we could leverage that a little bit more to get into the middle school and or elementary school, particularly for training the teachers because of how things overlap. Okay, now I'm going to stop. Thanks, everybody. Sorry.
No, we were having a very, very similar conversation about schools and training. So it sounds
I'm
like
a big
you were,
proponent of healthy competition.
yeah. Yeah,
My problem is I get to an unhealthy space real quick, so I have to constantly.
check yourself, keep yourself in line.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you all so much for a great just meet and greet meeting. Again, I know that some of you already knew each other going into this, but this helps us as a statewide organization really get a better understanding for what each and every one of your regions are doing, and how we can support and promote that in different ways with the areas that we overlap. As Alex said, though, we are statewide and we're serving the whole entire state. And we don't have regional coordinators in every single part of the state. We wish we did, but funding just hasn't allowed us to do that. So we do have Alex to support the other areas. So, I'd love to do this again with the other regions, Emily Ann, and we'd love to continue the conversation as much as possible. So hopefully, if you weren't already connected with the Georgia Center person in your area, that you are now, and we can continue to have those conversations as needed.
Well, thank you, everyone. Yes, I'm grateful for everybody's time, and hopefully this was helpful, and we look forward to the continued conversation and work. And I mentioned in one of our breakout groups, the question was asked about when and what round 5 will look like. And we always go into information collection mode and formal and informal before we release a round of funding. So if you do have information that you want to share with us, or just sharing your perspective, or who's doing what in a specific region and who might be a good partner, please always feel free that our door is open and we welcome any information, positive, negative, in confidence, publicly, whatever.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you all. I hope you have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Bye.